screen right there. There you go. Yeah. So here, all the protocol parameters. That's the mainnet Conway Genesis file, and we have the Plutus v3 cost model ready. And here is all the 7 constitutional committee credentials script hash. So in there you got IOG, Emergo, Intersec, Cardano Foundation, and the Cardano Atlantic Council, the Eastern Council, and the Japan Council as well. For a threshold of 2 out of 3, which gives approximately 6. No, it's 66.6666666%.
Right.
Or 67 if you round it up.
If you're a rounder.
Yeah.
Wow, cool. So Japan's script is they have the script from Japan from when they did the ICO. Like those are those people,
No, not necessarily.
right?
No, no, not necessarily.
Oh, this is the Constitutional Committee. This is like
Yes.
the Japanese sector of the Constitutional Committee, like those people that I saw. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I get it.
the World Consortium. So there's the Eastern Council, which is a consortium of many people, and the Cardinal Atlantic Council is also a consortium, 6 of us, with Jenny. Is that Jenny? Jenny's right here. So tonight we have 2 members
Yep.
of the ICC in our workshops. Hey Jenny, if you want to talk, you might be automatically set to push to talk. So if you want to change that, I'm going to show you actually. You just go here and you click on this here, user setting, and you scroll down to voice and video. And from there you can set this to voice activity or something else, right? So that's it. This is the Conway file that we worked so hard on. The governance protocol parameter committee working group, which consists of Jenny, myself, Nicholas from the Cardano Foundation, Johnny, Riley, Oscar, Adam Rush. Yeah, Adam Rush, obviously. How could I forget Adam Rush? That's
I
it.
know those guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
Well, they were like 7 of us. But we worked a lot, man. There was like almost 2 meetings per week, and we had to go through all the workshops that you guys did during the DREP workshops and the governance workshops. We went through all those data, and we also did a survey using some platform. We worked a lot on that, man. And some of the guys that were there, like Nicholas, Adam Rush, Jenny too, they worked like so much more than I did. Right? Did a lot.
Right.
So yeah, that's the value we have right now. These are the
Interesting.
officials. Governance section deposit 100,000. DREP deposit, it's 500. Similar than what we use for stake pool. So if you want to be a DREP, the deposit is 500 ADA. Yep. And we got the thresholds for protocol parameter groups. And they're all set to 67% except the governance group, which is higher, obviously, because that's the threshold that you need to cross to be able to change the governance protocol parameter. For example, the other thresholds, Like all these thresholds, you can change them, but you do have to cross this threshold to be able to do that. So, which explains why it's a little higher than the other ones. Yeah, I'm very excited to
Yeah.
see what it's gonna do. Hey Jenny, can you
Do you
talk
see?
if you have any trouble? Sorry, let me try lol. Okay. Anyway, if you have any trouble with your microphone, let me know.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to bother you, but I'm here
No, no,
just.
not at all. Go ahead. It's interactive. These workshops are interactive, so we just talk, all of us. That's the way I like them to be, because or else I get really nervous if I'm the only one who talks,
Oh,
right?
you gotta wear the wig.
I don't have one. I don't have one. I
You
should
didn't
order one.
take one with you?
No, no. Well, they're Adams, right? He brought them with him.
What do you mean? You were supposed to take your wig.
I didn't know I had one. He didn't.
You
Well,
had one. What happened to yours?
well, I don't know. He took him back.
Adam said to take him with us, so I don't know why he
Really?
would take it back.
I
Oh,
I didn't.
this is why you didn't have a Sancho hat. You see, this is crazy. You should have taken it with you.
Oh yeah, I know.
But yes,
Where
I
is
can't
it?
believe this report was finally released today. I'm so relieved and happy, and yes,
I should wear it during my workshop. I don't know why I didn't.
you need your wig.
Yeah, with the wig underneath. La Constitution.
La Constitución. So
Ye-
yeah, what do you think about the report finally coming out? You have your hat. Hi, Sancho hat.
SanchoNet hat. Actually, the report is maybe I can share it. It's um it's a Google Drive link though. Let me just double
I need
check
some
it.
Sancho ties.
Maybe
Those
I
would be
have it.
nice.
Uh, no, that's the ICC chat. Just give me a second. I'll try to find it real quick. Uh, this is the um. Where's it? Oh, okay, that's okay. I got it. It's right
Oh, the
here.
report.
The report.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the report. If you guys want to read it, I'm pretty sure I can share it now. So I'll just share it in the chat. So you got all our rationales and everything that comes with it. Uh, why we took decisions for each single one of these parameters. So here are the results. And as you scroll down, you should see, yeah, so the values we decide are rational and future considerations pretty cool actually, especially for which one was it? As I was reading through, um, security group, threshold, hard forks, right there. This is very cool. We should find a way for SPOs. That's future consideration. So for every single parameters we have, you got our rationale why we came to that decision, and also future consideration, which is kind of very useful for future improvements of governance like this one, which I like a lot, right? Our suggestions for recommendation for stake pool voting threshold for hard fork initiation was 51% because considering the other poll we did, it was very hard to engage to get engagement from the stake pools because lots of them don't feel comfortable about using their cold keys to vote, right? And they just want to get the money from the protocol pretty much, which I guess it's all right in a way. So yeah, here we have the future consideration. We shouldn't maybe I can zoom it. Oh yeah, I can. We should find a way for SPOs to designate themselves as auto-abstain for governance vote without having to use their code keys. This would be particularly important for centralized exchange, financial institution, and other enterprise pool, who are not able or do not wish to participate in governance because of regulatory, or other reasons. Another topic that can be addressed in the future is how the SPOs signal their readiness for a hard fork. Currently and going forward, they primarily do this by upgrading their node to the latest release version, obviously, right? That's what we're doing right now with 9.1.0. And an alternative approach would be to require that an X percentage of block in an epoch be produced by pool running new node versions. If this threshold percentage is met, a hard fork could be initiated. That's not the one I was looking for, actually.
Mike, I got a question real quick. Something I've been want to bring up about the 51%.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's supposed to be like that means that half the people. That means that half the people or more get their way, right? So that 51%, right? That's what that means. It means half the people or more get their way. So my thing is just this: is having at 51%, it's a little bit of a threshold because you can still have a difference. Like, what if it's 49.99 to 50.01? That's still the majority, but it's not like that 1% threshold. Like that 1%, you're still filling people in there.
It is not technically the majority because it is stake weight for SPOs. So this means that the more ADA you have delegated to your pool, the more power you got. So it's not like one person, one vote, or one SPO, one vote in this case, right?
Yeah,
So you
I know
need,
that it's by ADA.
yeah, you need 51% of the total amount of ADA stake to stake pools.
Okay, yeah, but I was just wondering, like, did you want like the way how like you were saying that, like, did you want that to be 51%, or did you like want that to be like, out of like however many thousands of people, one ADA isn't 1%, like a bunch of people can have like that percent, but there'd be like a lot more votes to that, but the percentage is you don't want it to be like you want it to be 49.51. They don't want it to be 49.99 to 50.01. They want it 49 to 51.
I'm not sure I get that.
What I mean is
When you
like
say
the
they, who do you refer to they?
people who created this document.
We did.
Who else?
We did. So that's what we're trying to
I know you
understand.
did. I helped curate it too.
Look, so this is the list. Adam P. Rush, Jenny, who's here with us, Nicholas from Cardano Foundation, Oscar, myself.
Yeah, I know that. You told me that already.
Okay.
Yeah, we got that.
But yeah,
Yeah, so that's why I was very confused because since we were saying that and you were
Well, it's a
saying they,
collaborative
I was trying to
representation
think
of
if you were
information.
talking about somebody else that was telling you they wanted
Now, I'm
that.
not
So
talking about anybody individually at all. I'm talking about the 49 to 51 and the range that exists between there.
okay. So what about it? Do you have a position on that? Is that what you're saying?
I don't have a position. I'm just making sure that it is what you want and you didn't overlook it.
no, well, actually, our rationale.
There's a lot of overlooking on things here, by the way. There's a lot of things that aren't perfect. I've been listening to spaces with you in it and a lot of people and hearing how people may resign and stuff. So, I mean, there's not a lot that's perfect here. So please.
No, not at all.
I
I understand that.
Nobody's saying that. We're just trying to understand what you're saying.
Um,
Yeah, it's the percent that basically from between the number of 49 and 51, that's 2%.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, like, do you want that gap to be smaller? That's what I'm asking you guys. Like, instead of it being 49.51, it could be 49.99
we meant
to
to be 51.
Yeah, we meant
50
we,
50.01.
uh,
Because that 0.1%, on that 50.01, that's the difference. Like, let's just say, like, if there's 20,000 votes for yes and there's 20,001 votes for no, what happens then? Is it moot? Is it dead?
well, if you don't have enough to reach a majority, obviously it's not gonna happen.
Exactly. It doesn't move. So you
It's
have to reach that threshold.
yeah, yeah, and the reason why we
So you have
used the
Mhm.
softest value was because as a group we believe that it's already very hard for SPOs to reach it because the only other poll we could rely on was the one we did for the K parameters, and we barely had 49% of the totality of the ADA stake to stake pools who voted, period, who just voted, right? And this is what helped us gets to this value. But actually, this is a very interesting topic because for every one of our decisions, you got a rationale here, and especially for this one too. Let me just read it. This threshold should be a simple majority to indicate a temperature check amongst SPOs because there is no way for SPOs to auto abstain as it is right now, and you already know this. If you want to abstain, you have to actively abstain. There's no metrics or anything that gets you to auto abstain, even if you wanted to as an SPO, right? So if you don't do nothing forever, you will be seen as a no and you will counterbalance the yes vote every time. Uh, or become inactive voter, right? We run the risk of locking up the governance system, which is the point. We run the risk of locking up the governance system if the value is set too high and too many SPOs choose not to actively participate, which could actually happen. However, there should be a I love this. I really love this. However, there should be a constitutional guardrail in place that the hard fork cannot be initiated until SPOs representing a requisite amount of active delegated stake have upgraded their node to a version that support the new specifications. So for example, we have a guardrail or a human guardrail. I'm going to call it like that because that shouldn't hold you from submitting the governance action itself. But if you put a guardrail that says that, I'm just going to keep reading it. Here the value is 85%. After discussion with the full parameter committee, where it was brought up that there are technical means to determine if a node software is compliant with new specification, this constitutional guardrail was adopted for the interim constitution, specifying that at least 85% of active stake is delegated to SPOs running software supporting the hard fork. So by having a guardrail like this, the constitutional committee shouldn't be voting yes unless we reach 85% of every active voting stakes from SPOs that has taken the upgrade to make sure that it
Yes,
doesn't.
you're adding just my just the way how I see it is just like you're just adding like almost like, for the lack of a more accurate number on how much one ADA is worth out of the 100%, just a little bit of a threshold to true democracy.
No, no,
Or
no. This value is mostly because the more ADA you got delegated to your pool, the more block you're attributed, and you produce more block within the chain. So
oh,
by having 85% of active voting stake delegated to SPOs who did the upgrade, then you make sure that when you trigger the hard fork, you have a an actual proper number of SPOs who will have the Conway era or the Chang hard fork within their node. Sorry if I don't express myself very well for that. For
No, that makes
example,
sense.
yeah,
Go ahead.
it's like
Yeah, I just want to make sure
another,
you guys don't overlook that.
yeah, it's just another layer of security, because what we had and why we got to that number 51% for SPOs is because there's many SPOs again today who will just not ever use their cold keys for anything, even voting, and they will be seen by the system as a no vote. So if you cannot counterbalance that with active vote, yes, there's never going to be a hard fork for future for the future of governance. And with the level of participation that we had for K parameter and the SIP 94, we
Mhm.
assumed that it was best to have a lower number and some sort of guardrail within the constitution to protect the chain from, I don't want to say, from people who would misinterpret the fact that I won't vote yes because I took the upgrade. I will vote yes when I believe the chain is ready for the hard fork initiation, right?
Yeah, that was a good point of reference that that we did because there's a lot of action there, a lot of people involved there.
Yep.
And Bone Pool's here, by the way. Bone Pool, he's a
Hey,
pool operator. What's up, Bone? How you doing, man?
hello.
See you.
You might be set to push to talk. Just make sure that if you go into user setting, I just want to make sure that you guys don't get stuck not being able to talk. Here, user setting, you click on that and voice and video, and you can switch it to voice activity if you're automatically set to push to talk. I'm just not sure if I've set the proper permission for that. But hey,
Well, thanks.
nice work.
That tied a lot of things together. Thank you for that explanation, Mike.
Whoops. Jenny's gone. Oh. Um. Yeah. So it's an interactive one. So if you guys want to ask questions, we could talk about the report and our reasoning behind each values, and I can get you through it. So everything, just for those who weren't there before, so everything that you see here within the report, by the way, the link is in the chat of this channel. So everything that you see here is the values that we currently have in our Conway Genesis file that will be activated as soon as we reach the Chang hard fork that you see here. All 7 script hash of the
Cool.
interim constitutional committee. Of course, the cost model of Plutus v3, which was there by default. And all our values from our recommendation that you can see within this document. That again, the link is in the chat. If you guys have questions, you want to talk about it, you want to debate it, why not? This is minimum viable governance. So I'd like to know your opinions about that. I'll be very interested. I don't know if you went through it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little time to go through it, but my next workshop, it's only 25 pages, but I'm familiar with it a lot already. This is a beautiful document moving forward.
Yeah, it was very well written. Obviously not all by me because I'm French. My English is not that good. I'm getting there slowly but surely, but yeah. So we have many recommendations, and some of them which are not actually on the minimum viable governance. One of those recommendation, I don't know if I can find it. It's probably out there within the.
Yeah, I just want to say that even if you didn't write a lot of the words, it's not like it didn't come from deliberations where you're like super duper pivotal in all of them. So, you did write it, not just maybe type the whole thing, but yeah,
Yeah,
just saying.
we all work. Yes, it's just yeah, and you're right. You're absolutely right. we commonly decided of those parameters, and it's just that my wording is not as well done as what you guys put in there, because I had ideas. There's one of the ideas that I brought, which is much better explained with your words. Trying to look for it. That's actually the motion of no confidence. It's the motion of no confidence protocol parameter threshold value that can be modified by well, uh, Bob, I can hear me on your microphone. It gives a feedback. It should be somewhere there. Suggestion for CC parameter. It must be this one. Yes, it's right there, actually. Yeah, that was not necessarily a big concern, but during our meeting we talked about it, right? Because the constitutional committee cannot vote, obviously, on motion of no confidence because it's a governance action that's meant to get them out. And they cannot vote as well on update committee because they shouldn't be able to influence the vote to elect constitutional committee or demote or remove constitutional committee members, obviously, in a decentralized governance, right? So my concern there is that I can say we now, right? We as the constitutional committee could indirectly influence the threshold value of those governance action, which I think is kind of wrong, right? Because it's a protocol parameter, and the constitutional committee can vote on protocol parameters. And my concern was that, yeah, of course, it's always nice to have two layers of security, or at least two thresholds to be crossed to be able to ratify something in our governance system, which is great. But I would have just take the power away, that power away from the constitutional committee and give it to the SPOs instead for 6 specific protocol parameter, which are the pool voting threshold for motion of no confidence update committee, as well as for the stake pool operators. And yeah, that's it. It's mentioned here. In order to provide check and balance to the system of governance, certain governance actions are designated to be voted on by the CC, the reps, and SPOs. Respectively, notably, the CC is not allowed to vote on an update committee and motion of no confidence, obviously, because these pertain to the composition of their membership. We believe that members of the Constitutional Committee should also not be able to vote on updating the threshold on the following parameters: committee normal, committee no confidence, which is a single governance action depending on the governance state, if it's normal or no confidence, and the motion of no confidence for both DREP voting thresholds and pool voting thresholds. These 6 thresholds of the governance protocol parameter group can be added to the PP security group of the SPOs in order to maintain a minimum of 2 thresholds to be crossed for all governance actions and thereby reduce the risk associated with allowing only one of the governance body, the reps, to vote alone on these specific parameters. So, as it is right now, we cannot vote on the governance section motion of no confidence, but we could veto the modification of its threshold as the CC. So it's kind of bad, right? I don't like it, but that's the way it is right now, and I hope it's going to change in the future. So that's, one of our recommendations as the protocol parameter committee group for governance. The desire to maintain a secure, democratic, and decentralized blockchain is one of the reasons which led to the creation of PP Security Group. If you guys don't know what it is, that's a specific protocol parameter group that's been made for the stake pool operators to vote on. I lost. Oh, we lost Bone Pool.
Boo.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm just joking. Bone is cool.
Boo earns.
Are you around Saturday, Mike? I know I shouldn't be asking that because, family and stuff. But I'm doing a space for Intersect in the morning. We'd love it
Ooh.
if you join so we can talk a little bit about the report.
When in the morning?
I don't know what time you have. I'm Eastern time. What are you?
Eastern Daytime too.
Okay. It's at 8 in the morning for me.
Oh, 8? Yeah, yeah, that's doable. 8?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah.
right. It's not too bad. I can do that.
It's Saturday. Yeah, join us. I'll send you a link. It'll be great. Just talk a little bit about,
Hey, Jose is there
nothing.
too. Is that Jose?
What?
HD 5000? That's Jose?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
Jose.
what's up.
Bonjour, mon ami.
What's up?
Hey. Bonjour, bonjour.
GM. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. Hey, I haven't read this, but what is the biggest controversial thing in here, if there's anything? Um,
The biggest controversial thing is an easy question
He
to
came for the
answer.
drama.
or
Yeah,
It's
what?
cool.
you came for the drama. We'll talk
The
about
juicy stuff.
drama.
I mean, you're always gonna have, people complaining about the deposit, right? We know that
Yeah,
one will
right
be
there.
controversial. Yeah.
That's the drama right there. That
I actually,
Shiny
actually, I,
pool,
I
s'il te plaît.
I was on that group for a while, and I thought that was too much. But the stuff that Adam presented, I think it was at 50,000, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
our value right there. Our recommendation was 50,000,
Mm-hmm.
which was technically 10K. What the community value was. So we raised it by not 10K, but we raised it 10 times above it.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, but now thinking about it, like I think 100K is actually good. Be-
we'll see.
Well,
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I kind of like come to like not hate it like I used to. Not gonna
right, like a
lie.
higher threshold is better because otherwise the Europe's are going to be reviewing stuff left and right.
Exactly. Especially in this beginning era,
Yeah,
right? Where we're
probably in the
still
beginning.
trying to find a cadence and how to do things.
Right. Because I was very
Yeah, but
opposed to the high threshold. Even we met in Indy, I thought it was too much. But I think I've come around to this higher threshold.
That's how Catalyst started that way, right? It used to be that you needed like I don't remember the first time I was able to vote. It was like 2K in my wallet or something like that. It started slowly going down, and I've been waiting for it to go down, but it's stuck at 500. It was supposed to eventually go lower, but they haven't found a reason to do it. So because I don't know why for voting, right? But this is a little different. It's the same. I think I get the point. You know what I mean?
Again, my personal opinion about this is that I used to be an advocate for 100,000. That's what I presented when I'm pretty sure you remember Indianapolis, the presentation I did. My target value was 100,000,
Yeah,
but
and I booed you.
but I changed my mind for this as soon as they introduced the guardrail script because in my opinion it's kind of already hard to submit a governance action, but if you had the guardrail script to that, it's harder. It's harder because you have to calculate the well right now the transaction build command doesn't do it for you, so you have to calculate the execution units for CPU, memory, and stuff like that on top of your already hard to do transaction and vote file, not vote file, but proposal file for a governance action. It's hard. It's hard, man.
Explain to me what that means. So not any dumbass can submit this. You have to have some technical. Is that what you're saying?
Right now, yes. Right now, yes. It's going to change. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they're going to. Uh, we're gonna have tools for this, but right now, it's very hard. It's not super easy. If I go into my favorite website, which is SanchoNet and I'm just gonna go slightly through the tutorial for create governance action, and as I scroll down, you will see. I need an example for that. Let's say a protocol parameter change here.
Well, how long will this be difficult? Like a year?
It's hard to say. As long as it takes to make the tools, pretty much. Because right now here you see that's an action file, and you have to include the constitution script hash to it. Or else, if you don't, you can still submit an action, but the constitutional committee is going to vote against it because it's unconstitutional if you don't put it there. So just don't bother if you do not intend of putting the constitutional script hash, because they will vote against it. So you have to do it for protocol parameter and treasury withdrawal only. But okay, so this is the action file, which is, already not super easy. You have to provide a rationale, right? And your rationale has to be SIP compliant as much as possible. And on top of that, you have to include the script hash of the guardrail script, which you can probably put there if somebody provides it to you, and then you just have it. But after that, you have to build your transaction, and that's where it gets tricky, right? Because you have to provide the proposal script file, which is the guardrail script itself. You have to, on top of putting your transaction in UTXO, you have to also provide a collateral because it's a script. And it's not necessarily super easy for everyone to do that. And that's the way it is right now. And if your governance action doesn't meet the guardrails or it goes above it, then automatically the script will block your governance action from being submitted on chain. So if, for example, the maximum value for governance action deposit is 100,000, the value that we have right now, if I submit a proposal to change that value to 200,000, then the guardrail script is going to stop me right at submission. As soon as I try to submit this on chain and I'm ready to submit it using this command, the guardrail script is going to stop me. And that's what it's for, actually. So yeah, it's tricky. It's just tricky right now to do it. But yeah, we're gonna have tools for that eventually. But I'm yeah, it's coming, right? It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Did you guys come up with a number for the DREP deposit?
DREP deposit is 500.
Okay.
Same as stake pool, and um, the initial value used to be 2 or 5 ADA, I think, but we communally decided to raise it to 500 for many reasons, and one of those reasons is to for example, if you get inactive and you don't want to be a DREP anymore, but it only costs you 5 or 2 ADA deposit, you might just leave it there for months and contribute into stalling the governance. So it's an incentive for you to unregister your DREP to get that deposit back. When it's 500, it's much more tempting to unregister if you don't want to be a DREP anymore than if it's 2 or 5 ADA, right?
And then how many epochs before you become invalid? Is it 20?
Inactive.
Inactive, yeah.
Let's go see the Genesis file. So DREP activity is 20 epochs. So it's 20 times 5, so it is 100 days.
Does this document talk about also what makes a top DREP, or if you're gonna reward them or pay them or anything like that?
No, that's
No.
still a discussion item. That's still something that has just been kind of passed around and talked about. That's
Mm-hmm.
not there.
Yep.
There's just that document that came out, that talks about the study that IOG did,
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and what the recommendations are. I don't know if you have it. If you don't have it, I can send it to you if you
Oh,
want to look at
yeah,
it.
send it. Send it to us. Let's go see
Okay,
it.
let me,
I missed
let me
that.
look it up.
I haven't seen this. And it's a workshop, so let's do it. Yeah. More information. Governance is fun.
Hey, can you explain to me the threshold and like how when I went to the workshop with Adam, the last one in Chicago, about how something gets submitted and it's like a 60% threshold, and then if it does pass, like it gets approved at the end of the epoch.
Yeah.
What is the guardrail or the safety guardrail if it's something terrible? Is there somebody else that can veto it or block it?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. Just worst case scenario, and everybody approves it at 60%, and then it goes automatically in at the end of the epoch.
Yeah.
You can't change your vote because you can't if you're I don't know, like say everybody's voting for it and then you want to, if it's something controversial you can change
You
your
can.
delegation to somebody else that
Yes.
will
It will be.
vote no on it.
It will be considered right away before ratification. So, uh, except for stake pools, that's the difference. If your D-Rep vote for something that you don't like, and it's gonna pass, and you want to change delegation, you can change it right away, and it's going to be considered at the epoch boundary at the same time as the vote calculation. So you will be out of these D-Rep right away at the very same epoch boundary. But stake pools, there's a 2 epoch delay for stake pools because mechanism for stake pools doesn't work the same. The snapshot doesn't work the same. It's just not the same thing. It's the same as for your reward delegation, for example, right? If you start a wallet, you delegate to a stake pool, it takes 2 epochs before it's considered for eventual reward, right? So the first time you do it, it's always longer. Uh, it works the same way for stake pool. So if you go away from something that your stake pool voted on and that you don't like, it's going to take 2 epochs. So it might still pass,
Mm-hmm.
but not for D-Reps. D-Reps is like instant. You go away, it's already considered for the epoch boundary, and your vote won't be helping or contributing to
Okay,
that
so let's
epoch.
just say there's 30 D reps. All 30 D reps agree that they're gonna pass this, and it's terrible for Cardano. How can we stop them? If they just vote, everybody agrees to vote on it, and then at the end of the epoch, it closes and it's done.
Well, if it's dangerous for Cardano, then obviously the constitutional committee is gonna vote no on it, and it's not
But
gonna
that's
pass.
after the D reps vote on it, right?
Yeah, but it's all happening simultaneously. It's not like after or before. It's all happening at the same time.
Yeah,
So they need to be, if it's already been signed by the Constitutional Committee as approved, it's because they already, even if they don't get enough votes, they've already decided that it's
yep,
it's kosher, it's good, right? You're good to go.
yeah. You can,
But
So
yeah.
the Constitutional Committee reviews it before it goes to vote.
it goes all at the same time.
It's
There's
yeah.
not one person, 1 second. It all happens at the same time.
You need both threshold. Let's see it this way, right? If it's something that both has to vote on, for example, you say that it's something that might be critical for the blockchain, right? So it's probably a protocol parameter. You need both thresholds to be crossed. So even if you get 100% of the D-reps who vote for it, if the constitutional committee didn't vote, it's not gonna go. It's not gonna pass. You need
Okay.
both thresholds. So, like Jenny said, if the constitutional committee vote yes on it, you know you're free to go. That means that they see it as secure, because if it's in any way not secure for the blockchain or detrimental for it, they will vote no, because it would be unconstitutional. That's mainly what the constitution is for too, right? And the guardrails. If they see it as a threat in any way, well, of course they will explain it in a rationale and justification. But if they vote yes, you can be sure that it's all right. And yeah, but who votes first? Like Jenny said, it's the same. So you can cross any of those two thresholds first. It could be the constitutional committee threshold has been crossed on the governance action, but the reps doesn't want to vote on it or do not agree with it, which is fine. That's the way governance is. Then eventually that governance action will reach expiration. So you absolutely need to cross two thresholds for everything. That's the bare
Okay.
minimum. There's never gonna
No
be
exceptions.
no exceptions. The only
Interesting.
And
exceptions is
also, this is just an important reminder. Why is it so important to participate in this? The what is it? The Constitution consultation workshops?
yes.
Because
Yes.
at the end of the day, however that Constitution is written, is going to be the very kind of like, base for the CC to make those decisions, right?
Yep.
So when there's any wiggle room, you want to make sure that document guides towards where you will hope the result ends up being. You know what I mean?
Yep. There's
Does
some
this document talk about if because I know when we were there, they didn't want to put rules or regulations on if you could be all three things, like a SPO, DREP, and on the committee too. So does this talk about that document or no?
anyone can go to these constitutional
Our
workshop.
document? You mean this report?
The
If
report,
it
sorry,
has,
yeah.
Oh,
if it, you mean the report? If we talked into like whether there's conflict of interest or one or the other, or no,
Okay.
no.
it's just plain parameters.
Yeah, the report
That's
is
that's more like PIP related, right?
yep. It's only for governance protocol parameters. That's what our working group was for, to
Mm.
determine the initial value for minimum viable governance for governance group protocol parameters only. We didn't even touch technical networking and economic group at all. It was just governance group. So this is what this report is for only, which was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, about the constitution itself, though, Jenny's absolutely right. You guys should engage, right? If there's something you want in there, if there's a gray zone, something that you don't like, I would love to eliminate them all. And there's actually something that I thought about this weekend or last weekend, and it was in a way quorum, because in the beginning,
Quorum.
quorum, um, in the beginning, I'm pretty sure a lot of community members will engage, but eventually, after a while, I don't know how long, years, maybe, uh, there's gonna be a drop of engagement, probably, right? And it's okay. It's just that I believe that to protect the chain, it would be probably a good thing to have a form of quorum value for DREP participation within the Constitution, to make sure that not too few DREPs can enact or ratify something. For example, protocol parameter change. If after a while nobody engage and there's not much governance action on chain, and then all DREPs or almost all DREPs gets inactive over time because it's boring and stuff like that, then we could reach a very low value. And as the constitutional committee audit the governance actions, if they go if they don't go against the constitution, they will vote yes on it. But the thing is, maybe too few D-reps will be able to ratify it. So I would like to see some form of quorum value in ADA on the Constitution that says that if we don't get that much minimum value of D-rep votes, then uh, it could be seen as unconstitutional. So to be able to vote yes, we would need like some form of minimum voting value from D-reps on the said governance action, or something like that. I'm currently thinking about it. There's nothing like set in stone in my mind, right? But it's just to protect the chain against too few voters that has not enough voting power, because as you may already know, it's only the active voting stake that's considered. So after a while, maybe years, if there's not enough governance action on chain, then eventually this could be the weakest link of our governance, because we still have, well, we could still have a constitutional committee who would vote yes on governance action that's seen as constitutional, but on the other side, on the DREP side, there's like not so much activity, and there's like that whale with 1 million ADA that by himself uh, could be able to ratify governance actions like treasury withdrawals or protocol parameters by himself. I'm going to the extreme, but I would like to have like some form of minimum engagement value for D-reps to be able to pass stuff.
Yeah, because that was one of my concerns. Is like, what is the stuff that we're presenting was like it didn't really tell you if you actually were talking to people, reading things. It was just based on how much delegation you had. So if you're a big whale that just has a lot of delegation, does that consider you a good D rep?
Well, but that's not part of the tools, right? We have a Lighter Nation, which, by the way, I'm bringing him to talk about a tool they're building as part of a grant from Intersect. It's called the campaign tool, and then it's gonna capture a whole bunch of stuff from the reps, like how they voted, they said what they engaged in. So it's gonna help us be able to like
Get
keep
the
track
right
of what's
one.
going on.
Get the right
So
D-rep.
when Mike was saying before, depends on when the tools get created. It's like it goes down to things like this, so all kinds of tools that we're gonna need to see full form
Yeah.
here. You know.
Have you seen Circurin's tool that he's making? He showed me some inside pictures. It's
Yeah,
like,
the one that he showed us. Yeah, he's
yeah, it's
doing the
the pie chart.
but
It's like pie charts with every governance actions and engagement from how far you are from each thresholds, from SPOs, DREPs, and constitutional committees for each governance action. It looks pretty cool. I'm very excited to see this when he's gonna be ready, or when it's gonna be done.
yeah,
Me too.
and in the end, it comes down to like social contracts, right? And how we hold people accountable for things, and also you know just stay on our toes.
Yep, yep. Got to keep an eye on it, because I think, like, again, the weakest link of our governance system is to let it go. If you stop watching it, if eventually it goes down and some people stop looking for it, it might happen. You never know. Somebody's gonna stick something in there at the very right time, and I, for example, I did that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna say it. I tested this on testnet. This is a great example, because on the private network, the epoch length was 2 hours. Okay, so consider this: 2 hours per epoch, and we have, for example, we're just gonna use these examples. We have a DREP activity of 20. So it's not 20 times 5 days; it's 20 times 2 hours. So you have to consider that the DREPs on that private networks didn't last for long before they were seen as abstain. And what IOG did on that private network, they kind of make sure that they had all the voting power, the active one, and they gave themselves 5 million voting power right at start, and they were giving us, the small people, 10K from the faucet, which is not enough to submit a governance action. But anyway, um, so here's the thing. I watched it. I watched it, and I was like, I'm just gonna elect myself up there again and try to cheat the system. So I waited 2 epochs before the end of that DREP's expiration because they didn't watch it too much, and it was like almost like probably they were lasting 48 hours. And you have to expect some people who's going to do that. They're going to just wait for the right time to submit their action. And because you have to consider that the Constitutional Committee is tied to the Constitution. So even if we, in a way, if the governance action itself is constitutional, we have to vote yes. We can be against it, but it's constitutional. That's the job, right? The opinion side of things is the DREPs, in my opinion, right? But that I really believe that's our job as a CC is to vote on the
Yeah,
constitution.
well, and by definition.
Yeah,
Not just
yeah,
vote
yeah,
anything
yeah.
that
By definition, not gonna talk about the ICC because obviously they're gonna have like some more stuff to do. But the Constitutional Committee, the one that we're gonna have after all the art forks, and that the one that will be actually elected by the community, um, that's their job. And some people will wait for that moment, for that kind of moment where things goes down, right? There's the Shanghai for hype, everyone engaged, right? And there's like these, well, yeah, everyone's for it, and then eventually over time, some DREPs will go inactive, and the denominator value of the active voting stake is going to slowly go down, and the threshold within it also will be easier to cross over time. So, like Jenny said, it's very important to choose the right DREP, and if you don't have the right one, switch it to the right one. And it's pretty cool that Lido did that tool, right? Because again, it's an helper for you to see who's engaged and who's not. Because on top of choosing the right DREPs, I believe that everyone should choose one that engage a lot into governance and that stays active at all time. Those are the best DREPs you're looking for. So I hope we're gonna have a lot though. Uh, but yeah. So
Mike,
it's a risk, some form of risk. Yeah.
what about? I feel like no, I want to ask the question because what about the value of money? What about the value of ADA? What about the value of other monies? Like what things are done are we're looking at these deposits and things like that with I mean we're considering how much the dollar is worth. We're considering how much ADA is, how many dollars ADA is worth. So if ADA gets to be $10, like these numbers would be different if ADA was $10.
Some values in the Constitution and the guardrails mention the value of the currency, but there's something you need to consider. The world is not just America.
Well,
Because some people, right? I'm thinking of that memes, where there's a full map of the world and there's just like only the USA in there, but the
yes, well, we can
Yeah,
blame the
not
map
even
for
not even
being math
Mexico
is
is North
wrong.
America.
yeah, so each currency around the world have its own value, and you have to make sure that whatever change you do or whatever currency you decide to consider for changes or rules within the constitution shouldn't be detrimental for those coming from countries that has a currency that doesn't, worth that's not worth so much, right? I have no examples that comes to mind, but uh, this is one of the reason why I'm kind of feel like eh, there's some rules in the constitution that mention fiat money or like having some form of I'm gonna have to look for
Relativity.
it. Yeah, but it doesn't mention which currency, right? We have to figure it's probably the US dollar, right? But
You should
nothing's
probably
me-
get like
not
probably do that in a smart way. You know,
Maybe that's something that it needs for us to come up with the right kind of wording for it. Be a little bit more like,
yeah.
what kind of fiat we're talking about. We're talking about the fiat that's mostly used, and we have to specify that because I could change it anytime.
Yep. Yep. Do we mention world currency? Or do we
We didn't even mention like language for submitting actions.
uh, w-
We can be getting governance actions in any language, I suppose.
it has been mentioned. It has been mentioned during the when we were at Longmont. It was mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I wasn't. I didn't make it there. Oh, in Longmont. Yeah, yeah.
Longmont,
No,
yes.
I'm saying in the document it's not there.
We're allowed to say that it has been mentioned, but I'm not gonna tell you who did.
Yes, yes.
uh, but yeah, it has been mentioned. Honestly, there's absolutely nothing that holds you from doing that. You could just like put your rationale in plain English if you wanted to, but if you're looking for engagement, just go ahead and put as many languages as you want. That would be me, right? Because there's no limit to your rationale because it's an anchor, right? And there's no rule saying that you have to, you know, a maximum limit of 10,000 words, right? Especially if you put transactions, right? I'll just grab the English one or the French one if it's there. But, right? I mean, you don't have to understand Spanish if the English translation's in there too, right? As long as you can understand the form of rationale that they provide. It's mostly about engagement, so I have nothing against it. If you want to have a text of 40 pages and you have the Latin language and Ibrahim, whatever, all of them, I don't mind. Uh,
have you guys thought of for the D reps, not paying them all, but paying the ones that participate like a certain percentage of threshold? And maybe like to do that, maybe there should like with this pie chart and maybe I don't know, maybe there'll be like some
there's still discussions about this. Uh,
competency thing going on, competency check. Like,
Yeah, but for participation, we don't want to have like people that just want to become D-reps and do stuff to get paid. So it's kind of tricky. So far,
mm,
there's like three proposals, two with two variations of two of them. I did share with you guys a document with
oh,
the reward scheme options that are being evaluated right now. It is one of the topics if you participate in a DREP Pioneer program. They do
mm-hmm.
talking about this. That's one workshop that if you participate, you'll hear about
Okay,
this. But I did
thank you.
share it in there. I don't know if you see it on the chat.
Oh,
uh,
okay, cool.
I should be.
Jenny, see that right here? 694 Ian drops. Cool. I'll talk to Danielle about that. I'll talk to Daniela about that. I'll
Is
tell her I
that
want to go there.
is that this link? SanchoNet 1694.io.
Just want to see what's going on there.
That's the one you shared in the chat. Yeah. So where should I look? No, 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 no. Ow. Meeting. Ow. Go back upstairs. She's like, why do you have a weird hat? I was like, that's my SanchoNet hat. SanchoNet crown. Uh, so where's that discussion, Jenny? Uh, the link you shared is SanchoNet 1694.io. Is that the right one? Jenny.
Yeah, I don't see it.
This is create your own campaign. Cool. What's
Delegated
that?
representative. Registration, delegation, voting power status. Register to be considered active. Yeah, okay. Oh, pick a D rep. There's money there. What's that? Okay, that's Okay. Uh, okay, that looks like informative stuff. Create your campaign. Really?
Right?
Oh, we lost Jenny. Choose a wallet. Okay, sure. I'll use this one. Grant access. Okay, so what should I
And
do?
then the available DREPs is cool too. It goes by DREP status, live power, active power, amount of holders, actions. You know, it has the minimum and maximum, like it counts like the littlest to the highest amounts.
That's pretty cool. You can have your pictures and stuff. What's that? Create. Name, profile, okay. Platform statement. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Should I do a campaign? A campaign
Yeah,
on
let's do
Sancho? Yeah? Let's do this.
it.
Why not? Let's do this. I'm gonna try it. Okay, so I'm Mike Warnan. Yeah, I don't have a picture for now. Maybe I can do it later. I'll just create.
Upload anything.
Error creating
Upload
DREP
something.
profile. Why? It says error. So should I upload something? Do I have a picture of myself? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look at that maybe later because I have no pictures. This error.
Put a picture of Vassal up.
Not
Pictures
many
go up
dollars.
there.
Yes, you want to become a D-rep. I'm already a D-rep. That's my ID right there. Maybe just Mike. No. Okay. All right
I think
then.
it's not ready, Mike.
It says I have 0 voting power.
I'm gonna ask him because I don't know if was there any updates on Sancho?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah. They did a
that's what it is. I guarantee you that's what it is.
they did
Because I
another
went through
respond.
like explore D reps and it usually gives you it pulls it from Sancho and it gives you like a list and it shows you everything, dude. It's really cool to toggle around the stuff like who has more power, like the power of like the no confident and no and state of no confidence and the abstain. You see the you can toggle by it. It's pretty crazy.
Nice. Yeah, we respond the chain from slot 26,393. Don't ask me why I know it by heart. But yeah. So we got back in the history of the chain, and from that point we took another fork, and that's where Central is right now. So yeah, we had to do that again, and it was to test the hard fork actually. So they did that, and it was in Babbage era, and from that point we had this Conway Genesis file with all our information for governance and also the script dash of the constitutional committee, and then we switched to a Chang simulation, if you can call it like this, and it worked perfectly. And from that point, after that, we had to vote with the constitutional committee keys and the SPOs to trigger the Chang 2, which we did successfully again.
That's what you guys were doing, like all last minute.
No, that's something else.
My God, you guys have been like nonstop. I can't even like.
No, that was crazy. Okay, wait. I gotta have to tell the story because that's I've never been rushed like this in my entire life. Okay, I had to within 2 hours. I had to. They wanted us to put our credential on chain on pre-prod, and Sam said that uh, he was giving us until 8 o'clock p.m. UTC to do it, and it was from Eastern Daytime. It was the equivalent of 2 hours away from that. So I had in 2 hours to spin up a brand new pre-prod node, and there was no way I had enough time to pull the entire blockchain from pre-prod to be able to be synchronized and then submit that on chain on time. So I had to spin up a new server, um, get the node directly from the binaries because I didn't have time to compile it. Then I compiled the Mithril client with Rust, so I had to get Rust, compile the Mithril client, then grab the entire blockchain from a snapshot of Mithril, then build it, and from there, then I had to create a wallet, get money from the faucet, grab the freaking orchestrator CLI, and yeah, migrate all our certs from the private network to this one, and then submit on time, like barely 20 minutes before the end of it, all our credentials. But I did it. I made it. It was rushed. It was crazy, but we made it. Yeah, we're there. Ah. So
If I
anyway,
Yeah,
knew,
I'm
if I knew,
excited.
if I knew what all that meant, I would congratulate you.
Yeah, right.
this was
You're gonna just. It
insane.
was crazy. It took. I did a lot of stuff in a little time.
No, but yeah, Jenny was there. I was like, my kids were in the pool. I was outside on my chair, and I
Well, I
saw
was
this. I was
like
like,
in and out.
whoa!
I was honestly like, I'm like, this shit ain't for me. So I'm just gonna go away. I'm like, go
You,
away. I can't.
have you
I
seen?
have been having a really rough week. So this whole thing has been crazy, guys. But we're there, and I'm excited. And by the way, I had a meeting with Sam today. So I'm trying to help him with some. He's doing some really cool workshops and during Rare, and we scheduled my the consultation workshop. I don't know, Jose, if you're already going to one, but we're going to be hosting one in Philly and on September 14th. And Sam said he'll come, so that would
Mhm.
be dope if he's there. So
September
that's a lot.
14th.
I want to.
Yeah,
I want to show you guys something if you have time.
September 14th.
I want to.
Where's the other ones at?
Which one?
The one like that for that one.
The
The
other ones, they're
yeah.
happening. Ooh, you can go online. There's a list on Intersect. Let me look it up for you, and then I'll put the link here in the chat in a minute. There's a list of all the ones, and they just keep updating them. I just scheduled my date today, so they should be updating that one. But there's a bunch of them.
If you said there's one at Rare.
No, no, not
Oh.
Rare. Sam is doing he's doing a whole workshop on his own for a building in Cardano. But it's not governance stuff. It's something else that I was just mentioning. But
Hey Mike.
he,
Sorry.
no, I'm saying so. I was talking to him. The reason why I mentioned it is because I was talking to him today about that because I'm
Um,
trying to help, kind of promote it, and I was learning about it so I can, tell people about it.
I
It's
want to.
like a whole program. It's like a whole thing they're doing throughout the whole time in Rare, 2 days. You can just go in that room and they'll help you if you have an idea, and they'll help you make it happen and how to build using the Cardano API.
Hmm.
So it's interesting because you don't have to know Haskell for that activity. I'm trying to see if I can reach out to people in Vegas locally and try to bring them to Rare and see if they're interested. So yeah, if you know anybody that wants to build some stuff and use the API, that's a great opportunity because you learn from the best. We're gonna have Sam, we're gonna have Carlos, we're gonna have Alexi, and we're gonna have who's the other person who's gonna be doing the API stuff. Do you know the API guy? Mike. I don't know, but those are like,
The
Uh,
heavy hitters.
yeah, dude, yeah. So Sam
Cool.
said he'll come to our workshop, which I will love it if he does. because he knows his shit by heart too.
That's cool.
I gotta show you something, especially Jenny too. You see this here? This is our credential on pre-prod, and it might look like, you know, some weird numbers, but actually this is our membership roles. So we got 3 membership roles on pre-prod, right? This is not mainnet. So on pre-prod we got Adam, Rick, myself, and the delegator role, there's just this guy. And this guy is Sideshow Bob. I'm not even kidding. It's literally Sideshow Bob. So we got a file, and into this file, there is Bob's credentials right there. And what I wanted to do, whenever you have the time, is to replace Bob with you, Beatrice, and probably Tiago, and try to practice and do key rotations. Whenever you want.
Cool.
Right? And we'll just kick out this Sideshow Bob from there because he wants to kill Bart Simpson, and he's just actually I was trying to look and see if I just can't remember where I've put that. I got this search somewhere. Key node repos central source temp. Can't remember where I put those certs. Mike authorized.
What are we looking at? What are we looking for, Mike? They're trying to show me some geek shit.
He said it
I
specifically
showed
for
it.
you.
I showed it to you. Yeah. Okay. Let
Okay.
me just show. Okay. So
Okay.
on pre-prod. Okay. Right now on pre-prod, you guys are not there yet. We have. I'm gonna show it to you. That's ET actually. It's this one. Certificate. No, it's not this one. Which one was it? I'm not on pre-prod. I'm not. Ah, man, not the right window. Damn it. Sorry.
Hello, I'm new here. What are you trying to do?
That's not. I'm not on the right server. I'm sorry. My bad. This one's the right one. I wanted to show you. So we got 3 delegators on pre-prod. Well, no, we got 3 membership roles. We got 1 delegators. We have no voters at all. But
Yeah, but I didn't get to submit my shit, so I can't play, right?
Yet.
Okay, so I don't care. Go have fun.
No, yeah, but yeah. So I got the test cert here. So these are membership roles, and we got the delegator here. And that's a nice part of it because we can use the ash. Well, okay, no, wait. Let me just put it this way. OpenSSL X509. And
Oh, eventually, like this kind of stuff is gonna get simpler, right? What Mike was saying. All of the stuff that you do right now is just kind of complicated, but eventually things get more simple with tools. Ideally, it will be easy also for CC to do their work. You know, there's always going to be some technical level people that you need, right? And some technical basic that you should have.
Yep.
Security, safety, different things like that.
So as you may know, you'll be able to see every signatures that the construct committee will do will be also linked to an OpenSSL certificate. So you'll be able to see everything Jenny and I and whoever voted on, right? And here we see that.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well,
this guy here lives in the U.S., Illinois, Springfield. God damn it! Do you hear my kids? You hear them?
A little bit,
They're
I can't. Right.
okay.
barely.
From the
Just
organization Simpson
just
TV show.
feed them some maple cones. They'll be fine.
I'm not sure. So I want to get.
Yeah, isn't that what you did one time? I remember that, Jose.
Yeah,
He
he
put
like
that
threw them
thing
on
and
the
those kids
table,
were
and then they
jumping
went
up and
crazy for
down.
them.
Yeah.
Maple syrup cows. Oh! So anyway, yeah, as soon as possible, I want to get rid of Sideshow Bob and just put you guys there and do some practice for key rotations. Hey, you know what? That was a big thing there on the Twitter space, right? There was I don't know who it was. Somebody was kind of not upset, but it sounded almost like he was, and it was like, uh, yeah, but you guys can like switch whoever you want and put whoever you want in there, and well, I was like, yeah, well, we have certificates, so you know exactly who's there. And if we do a key rotation, then you know exactly whose key we're rotating. And that person will still be linked to a certificate, which will show their names and everything about them. So we're in a way identified, right? And then they brought the idea that, then there's somebody who controls everything. But if you want to be able to just rotate the keys, not only that you need a big majority of signatures to do it, so you will need like almost all membership roles to sign the transaction, but you also need the newcomer to sign it to be able to join in. It's not as easy as it looks to rotate keys. Anyway, uh guys, I got past an hour. I'm gonna have to stop it.
All right. Well, thanks for this, Mike. I'll see you Saturday. Hopefully you come to a space. It'll be awesome. If you
All
do,
right.
Send me a link if you have one or if it's already like scheduled.
yeah,
I'll
I
put it as
do.
well.
I do. And
Okay.
if you do commit to come in, I'll make a post tomorrow and from the intersect space and account and tag it to the space.
All right.
But let me know. I'll
Awesome.
send it to you. Guys, seeing you, Jose, and everybody.
It was nice seeing
Bye
you guys.
bye. Oh, have a good night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Good night.